Critics are going hard after a liberal media member for vile comments about Melania Trump. The former First Lady appears to signal her support for reproductive rights in a video out yesterday.
Individual freedom is a fundamental principle that I safeguard. Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise when it comes to this essential right that all women possess from birth: individual freedom. What does my body, my choice really mean?
And this take is pretty shocking.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all
That's a
agree on
given.
that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out.
Wow. I mean, that is, they've got to stop talking like that about a former president who's had 2 assassination attempts. I mean, that's just ignorant.
How does a high-profile daytime talk show land in a legal showdown with a former First Lady? Right now, that's exactly what's happening. Melania Trump is filing a massive $100 million defamation lawsuit against The View, and it's sending shockwaves across TV networks, social media, and political circles. Sunny Hostin, one of the show's most outspoken co-hosts, is directly in the crosshairs. Could this unprecedented legal move mark the downfall of her career and maybe even reshape how talk shows handle controversial topics? Stay right here, because we're diving deep into every twist, every bold claim, and every consequence that might follow. This saga isn't just about one conversation gone wrong. It's a flashpoint that might set a new standard for how far television personalities can go when discussing public figures. Whether you're curious about the First Lady's private life, a fan of daytime TV drama, or fascinated by legal battles with enormous price tags, this story has everything you want and more. Tensions between Melania Trump and The View aren't exactly new. Ever since her days in the White House, Melania has been the subject of countless on-air debates and heated commentary. Some revolve around her Rose Garden redesign, others focus on her rumored disdain for traditional holiday decor. You've probably heard the jokes about her not wanting to decorate for Christmas, or about how she allegedly hates the holiday altogether. Remarks that have played well to certain segments of The View's audience, but have often rubbed Melania's supporters the wrong way.
These are such vile comments, but they are exactly what The View's audience loves. It's targeted perfectly at a radically feminist, liberal audience that loves hate. Another now. This is loving and tolerant rhetoric the left uses, which they accuse the opposing side of using. And this one, those women are a danger to America. They do more than anyone else to stoke political and social tensions. The former president says he thinks his wife should be allowed to think for herself.
Her marriage to Donald Trump also becomes a frequent topic of speculation. Is she happy with him? Does she truly stand by him during his never-ending controversies? These questions pop up in the media again and again, and The View co-hosts haven't been shy in weighing in. In fact, they've served up some of the most pointed takes on Melania's personal life, discussing everything from her reported desire to live separately from her husband to her real feelings about public duty.
She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't want to have anything to do with him.
About that.
She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him.
Allegedly.
And she does.
Yeah, how do you know all this?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know all this.
Allegedly. That's why I say allegedly.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all
That's a
agree on
given.
that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the First Lady anymore. She's destroyed the Rose Garden. Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas.
Some watchers brush these discussions off as harmless chatter. Others see them as invasive, disrespectful, or downright mean-spirited. Now, this long-standing friction has escalated from on-air banter to a full-blown legal standoff. Though Melania largely stayed quiet during Donald Trump's administration, she isn't letting these latest remarks slide. And if you've ever wondered how far a public figure can go in defending their image, here is your real-time example. So, what's in this latest round of commentary that pushed Melania to break her silence in such a dramatic and expensive way? According to various insiders, one recent episode of The View included statements that went beyond mere jabs about holiday decor or jokes about her Rose Garden redesign. Instead, the co-hosts touched on some deeply personal topics, implying that Melania not only detests her role as a public figure, but also harbors strong resentment toward her own husband. One claim that's particularly jaw-dropping suggests Melania can't stand Donald Trump and actively avoids him.
Now, you know who has been bragging all over the campaign trail about how he's the one that overturned Roe v. Wade. But apparently, his wife has different thoughts on the reproductive rights after posting this video plugging her memoir. Take a look.
Individual freedom is a fundamental principle that I safeguard. Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise when it comes to this essential right that all women possess from birth: individual freedom. What does my body, my choice really mean?
Even under the same roof, the co-hosts joked about how she doesn't want to sleep in the same room and might be quietly plotting to distance herself from him if he returns to the White House. These accusations might sound like typical tabloid fodder, but when delivered on a platform as large and influential as The View, they can wield real power over public perception. And that's exactly the heart of Melania's defamation claim. The idea that these statements aren't just insulting or embarrassing, but untrue and harmful enough to damage her reputation.
Allegedly, he was cheating while Melania was pregnant.
That's not going to come in front of the jury, though. The judge has ruled that won't come up.
We're on television now. And then after Melania gave birth to the baby, he found Stormy to strip around with, right?
Yes.
It's like people should look at him and say, you know, what kind of an insecure jerk are you? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, my wife's pregnant. I'm not attracted to her big belly or something. And now she's paying attention to the baby and not me.
Of course, The View is known for controversial banter, but whether the show crossed a line from lively opinion to defamatory assertion is a question for the courts. What's particularly interesting is how swiftly Melania moved to file this lawsuit. Most public figures might write off TV talk as gossip, release a statement to counter any claims, or let the media cycle move on. Melania, however, is going straight for legal action with an enormous monetary figure: $100 million. That alone signals her determination to make a statement and possibly deter future jabs.
Because I do want to get back to this point with the left and Melania Trump. Why can't she just be her own woman and have separate?
And she can.
And so why all that criticism? I mean, that was gross from The View. And look,
agree.
The View is not the litmus test of America. We don't think that.
They were afraid of that remark. That was their problem.
So why did they handle it that way?
Now, let's explore the question everyone's asking. Why so much money? Typically, celebrities file defamation suits for amounts that might be large, but still within the realm of standard legal practice. A 9-figure claim, however, is massive by any measure. Some experts believe Melania's high price tag is intended to underscore the seriousness of the alleged damage to her reputation. Others think it's a strategic way to grab headlines, ensuring the story doesn't get buried or ignored. In either case, the potential consequences for The View, and for Sunny Hostin specifically, are enormous. In the lawsuit, Melania's legal team cites several segments of the show where the co-hosts apparently crossed from discussing rumor into stating false claims as if they were facts. Since defamation requires a demonstration that the statements are not only false, but also harmful and made with negligence or malice, her attorneys are working overtime to prove these points. They argue that some of the remarks about her marriage and her personal attitudes, like her alleged hatred of Christmas, were delivered in a way that audiences could interpret as factual rather than mere commentary or speculation. Given Melania's relatively private nature, her legal team might highlight how these claims mislead the public about her character, damage her ability to engage in future initiatives, and tarnish her personal brand, elements crucial to proving defamation. It's not just about feeling slighted, it's about concrete harm to one's public standing and prospects. This lawsuit comes at a particularly tense moment for The View. The show relies heavily on strong personalities who aren't afraid to share blunt, sometimes polarizing opinions. Yet, network executives aren't too keen on being targeted by eye-popping legal claims. Sunny Hostin, in particular, faces heightened scrutiny. She has been among the most vocal about Melania, often bringing up rumors and criticizing the Trumps' relationship dynamics. If the lawsuit moves forward, Sunny could be asked to provide evidence, clarify her statements, or reveal her sources, if any exist. A defamation case might also subject her to deposition, a potentially uncomfortable scenario where lawyers dissect each statement she's made about Melania. For someone in the spotlight, being grilled under oath can be damaging. Even if she believes her statements were fair commentary, the legal process could unearth behind-the-scenes deliberations or private communications that networks typically prefer to keep far from the public eye. There's also the broader question of whether ABC, the network airing The View, will seek to distance itself from the controversy. In high-profile defamation suits, the entity that broadcasts the statements can sometimes be liable as well. That might cause internal shakeups, additional oversight on what the co-hosts say on air, or even a forced apology. Sunny Hostin's brand as a lawyer-turned-commentator might add a layer of complexity. She's generally expected to understand the legal boundaries of her speech, making the stakes even higher for her. If the lawsuit drags on and tarnishes the show's reputation, or if she's perceived as a risk factor, her position might be in jeopardy. Since news of this lawsuit breaks, the public and the press have lit up with opinions. Supporters of Melania applaud her for taking a stand, arguing it's about time someone pushes back against excessive, unfounded speculation by TV personalities. They believe the lawsuit might force talk shows to be more responsible with their statements, especially when discussing personal matters of individuals who generally remain tight-lipped. On the other side, critics see this as an attempt to muzzle free speech. They argue that programs like The View exist to spark debates and share strong opinions, which shouldn't be silenced simply because a public figure finds them offensive. The question of where to draw the line between protected opinion and harmful defamation is at the heart of this argument. If Melania succeeds, will that embolden other high-profile figures to sue talk shows or news outlets anytime they feel negatively portrayed? Sunny Hostin's supporters say the show's remarks fall under fair commentary. They note that she and her co-hosts were merely discussing widespread rumors and that the tone was comedic or satirical. But in defamation law, just joking isn't always a defense, particularly if the statements are presented as fact or are specific enough to be proven false. We're now watching a tension between two core American ideals: the right to free speech and the right to protect one's reputation. Legal experts are speculating about how this lawsuit might shake out. There's always the possibility of an out-of-court settlement where both sides quietly agree on financial terms or a public retraction to avoid a lengthy trial. That's a common resolution in high-stakes defamation cases, as it spares both parties the financial and reputational costs of going to court. If an apology or clarification is enough for Melania, the massive $100 million figure might be a strategic bargaining chip to ensure that apology happens. But what if the lawsuit presses on? A drawn-out trial with depositions of Sunny Hostin, her co-hosts, and possibly network executives could become a media circus. The headlines might overshadow The View's regular content, turning every new piece of evidence into next-day talk show fodder. In the event Melania wins and is awarded a significant sum, maybe not $100 million, but something substantial, it would send an unmistakable message that public figures can and will fight back when they feel talk shows have gone too far. This could prompt a shift in how networks approach hot topic discussions of political and celebrity figures. Producers might implement more rigorous fact-checking or caution co-hosts to add disclaimers, allegedly and, in my opinion, like never before. Meanwhile, hosts might feel pressured to dial back the personal attacks or unverified rumors, worried that a single slip of the tongue could lead to another blockbuster lawsuit. Of course, there's a flip side. If The View successfully defends itself, the case might set a precedent that talk shows have a fairly wide berth to discuss rumors and critique public figures. Some see that as a reaffirmation of free speech, others fear it normalizes the invasive, speculative chatter that's become so pervasive in modern media. So, is this $100 million lawsuit by Melania Trump the end of Sunny Hostin's career? The outcome isn't set in stone, and the story continues to unfold. But one thing is crystal clear. Daytime TV, and possibly all forms of talk show commentary, will feel the ripple effects of this legal battle for a long time. If Melania prevails, it might embolden other prominent figures, politicians, celebrities, influencers, to fight back against shows they believe cross the line. If The View stands its ground and wins, talk show hosts may feel freer to speak their minds without fearing a crushing lawsuit in response. Either way, we're witnessing a pivotal moment in the ongoing dance between public figures, media personalities, and the boundaries of free expression. Is it fair for talk shows to riff on personal matters, or should there be a stricter code of conduct when discussing someone's private life? Does Melania's lawsuit defend her dignity and personal boundaries, or does it threaten open discussion on national platforms? Let us know what you think. Are you on Melania's side, applauding her for drawing a line in the sand, or do you believe The View is merely exercising its right to lively commentary and should stand firm? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you're eager for more updates as this lawsuit unfolds, because you know there will be more, hit that subscribe button. We'll be keeping an eye on every legal maneuver, every statement from Sunny Hostin, and every counter-argument from The View's defenders. Buckle up, because this battle is only gaining momentum. Thanks for watching, stay curious, and we'll catch you next time for the next big development in this ever-evolving legal showdown. Until then, keep your eyes open for any new twists, and remember, when a $100 million lawsuit is involved, nothing is off the table.